Central Florida, there's only one place to get a weather forecast that's the most accurate. And that's with WESH 2 Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi and First Warning Weather, certified by WeatherRate for 18 years straight.
Our forecasts are clear, concise, and built with your day in mind.
Using advanced technology to warn you ahead of the next storm. Because weather is an everyday part of life. Make WESH 2 First Warning Weather your choice for a trusted, accurate forecast.
I got a hold of my brother-in-law as soon as I heard that it was headed this way. We wet our roofs and wet our houses. I still got the hoses laying out there in the yard.
Right now at 5, Volusia County residents doing what they could to save their homes. More on the 300-acre fire still burning in Samsula and the progress made.
And running out of patience, members of the community join healthcare workers fighting to stop the closure of a local hospital.
A local state Senate race could turn into a family feud. I'm WESH 2 News political reporter Greg Fox. I'll explain the backstory of what could be a volatile election.
WESH 2 News starts with breaking news.
That breaking news is state law enforcement officials say highway patrol troopers took part in a historic immigration arrest right here in Central Florida.
It comes as the Trump administration is turning to a rarely used law to deport foreign gang members. WESH 2's Justin Shecker live at the Florida Highway Patrol office in Orlando. And Justin, you just heard from the acting director of ICE.
That's right. The acting director of ICE was joined by state law enforcement leadership as well as Orange County Sheriff John Mina. None of them took any questions after the news conference here at the Florida Highway Patrol, but they were here to highlight how they're working together to detain and deport members of the Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua. And we should mention a federal judge had temporarily blocked the Trump administration's use of the Alien Enemies Act. But from what we heard today, immigration law enforcement is moving forward with rounding up suspected foreign members of these gangs here in the U.S. Covering Orange County Live in Orlando, I'm Justin Shecker, WESH 2.
In Volusia County, a brush fire is tearing through Samsula. At last check, it was 80% contained. Forest Service officials say more than 300 acres have been burned at this point, and those flames are still going.
So this is all happening right now near the intersection of State Road 44 and State Road 415, which you know as Tomoka Farms Road. This was the one we were also following yesterday. WESH 2's Pamela Combe is beginning our live team coverage for us this afternoon. So Pamela, the Volusia County Fire Chief says that crews have been working to close up the containment line.
Yeah, around the clock they've been working to close that down. It's still at 80%, but they say it's holding well. They hope to reach 90% containment or close to 100 by the end of the day. And while they work to contain that, they're also trying to figure out a few hot spots that are still smoldering in the area. We just saw Forest Service out here putting them out with some water, and they're trying to do that while they still trying to close up that containment Now, the source of the fire is still unknown. The chief says he's glad to see a lot of these houses have 30 to 50 feet of defensible space. That means they're a good distance from the wooded area. This helps protect their homes and gives firefighters access if they need to get on the property to fight the fire. Now, we did just see an investigator arrive about an hour ago. He's here to assess the damage around the property, around all of this wooded area. So he'll be also investigating and trying to figure out where the fire started and what the source of the fire was. Covering Volusia County live in Samsula, Pamela Combe, WESH 2 News.
And that is just one of several fires burning across parts of Central Florida right now. We're also keeping an eye on a fire over in Lake County.
Yeah, our team coverage continues now with WESH 2's Luana Munoz live in Chopper 2. And Luana, this fire has grown in size since the last time we talked with you.
Yeah, we're being told right now that it has grown to 210 acres. That's about double the size from the last time we spoke to you guys when we were being told around 100 acres earlier today. But this fire has definitely, since 1 o'clock this afternoon, even though it has spread, it's kind of dying in intensity from what our photojournalists and our pilot were able to see. They said at around 1 o'clock this afternoon when they saw it, they could see massive flames, a lot of smoke. It was pretty much black out here. It's not as thick, but yet still thick. Definitely, there's still a fire out here. We can see that they are creating lines, sort of knocking down trees and anything that can fuel this fire. We are still seeing flames out here, and even though we're being told by authorities that no structures are being threatened right now, about half a mile away from this fire, or from where the smoke kind of ends, you can see that there is a ranch out there. We were able to lower Chopper 2 to clean our camera for a little bit, and we saw some cows out there. So again, there is a structure nearby, but we're being told that nothing is being threatened at this time. Forest Service is planning to do a back burn to slow down the intensity of this fire, but we don't know exactly when that is going to take place. We do see the bulldozers down there on the ground for them to sort of create containment lines, but again, all we're seeing right now in terms of containing the fire is them sort of going through and knocking down some of the trees out there, knocking down the fuel to try and contain this fire. It's still 0% contained from what we're being told by authorities at this moment. No injuries and no word on what sparked this fire. Pilot Dan over here told me that he could tell where this fire is spreading. It looks like it has already kind of covered drier area, and it's starting to hit newer, fresher, greener trees. So he thinks that it might start to slow down just because that is, obviously more moist area. More moist, it's not as dry than the areas that we have been seeing, and that where this fire has been spreading. But once again, 210 acres burned so far out here in the Ocala National Forest, 0% containment, and we are told that no structures are being threatened at this time. We're going to continue to monitor this, and of course we will join you guys live again at the top of the 6 o'clock hour. For now, covering Lake County in the Ocala National Forest. I'm Luana Munoz. Back to you.
And we all know that dry and windy conditions are what's fueling all of these brush fires here.
Yeah, we've been talking about it all week. Let's bring in First Warning meteorologist Marquise Mita with a look at how things are out there right now. Marquise.
Well, I'll tell you what, Jesse, Michelle, the air quality here in Central Florida, not the greatest. We have this dome of high pressure over us that's not allowing any new air to filter in. So oftentimes with these systems in place, the smoke, the smog, it really just stays exactly where it is. Moderate concerns for air quality here nearly all across Central Florida, from I-75 to I-95. So we're likely going to be dealing with those smoky conditions for quite a while, even as the containment levels do go up. Out on our live radar, not too much to see, right? It's been a completely dry afternoon, but as we zoom into Lake County, you can see where the smoke is the greatest here across Forest Hills, County Road 42, nearly stretching all the way down to State Road 44, as a matter of fact, for a few of these frames on our live radar. And the other fire that we were concerned with that has grown over to 300 acres in Volusia County, the Honeywood fire. We aren't seeing much across County Road 415 right now, which means that the smoke is slowly dissipating. Nevertheless, though, this Lake County fire has grown substantially since our previous reports at 4 o'clock, from 100 acres to now 210. And what sticks out to me are the containment levels. Hopefully these can increase as the night goes on, but as it stands right now, still at 0%.
All right, Marquise, thank you. There's a push to save County. Announced its upcoming closure last month. Today, healthcare workers and community members came together to rally against the closure of the hospital. Some staff members who were on shift even went outside to show support. They say the closure came as a shock, and it will have a negative impact on healthcare and the EMS system, which is already struggling to employ firefighters there.
Our community needs this hospital, that without this hospital, care is going to be delayed and people are potentially going to die.
In a lengthy statement, Orlando Health said in part, quote, following in-depth inspections that could only occur after acquisition, it was determined that the cost to repair and renovate Rockledge Hospital far exceeds the cost of a new state-of-the-art hospital. The hospital is set to close April 22nd. In Commitment 2025, 2 prominent politicians will be going toe-to-toe in a local state Senate race.
This morning, State Representative LaVon Bracy Davis announced that she will run for the vacated Senate seat with the passing of Geraldine Thompson last month. WESH News political reporter Greg Fox explains why this special election could be a volatile one. Now, we reached out to Governor Ron DeSantis' office to find out when he may set the date for the special election to replace Thompson. We will update our story once we hear back.
A Southwest crew made a mistake at Orlando International Airport by trying to take off on a taxiway instead of the runway.
Still ahead at 5, why the FAA is now investigating and how aviation experts are responding about how this could have happened.
And flights are slowly returning to Europe's busiest airport after a nearby fire cut off power overnight. The impact it's having here at home.
And the Florida Gators are in Raleigh for the NCAA tournament. WESH 2's Darren Stoltzfus is there live with a preview. Hey, Darren.
Yeah, hey, Michelle. This is the first time in more than a decade the Gators have brought a #1 seed into the NCAA tournament. What could be the key for this team? I'll tell you next in sports.
Closed captioning brought to you by National Floors Direct.
For the Florida Gators, the road to the Final Four starts in Raleigh.
Yeah, the Gators are one of 4 #1 seeds entering the NCAA tournament, so the expectations are exceedingly high for Florida. WESH 2 Sports Director Darren Stoltzfus is joining us live from Raleigh right now with what could be the key for Florida's title hopes. Darren.
Yeah, hey there. The Gators have been lauded as one of the most complete teams in the country. Their size, their skill, it just makes it really tough on other teams. Well, it sounds like a line out of Jerry Maguire, but Micah Handlogton completes this team. Todd Golden said enough yesterday. Yeah, so Jerry Maguire, the Gators, you get it. Tonight, this game tips off around 6:50 p.m. on TNT. Norfolk State, the 16th seed, trying to challenge them. Now, upsets do happen in this round. 2 in 154, though, is the record for 16 seeds. That's going to be the rallying cry for the Spartans tonight. There is a chance, but Florida's expecting a bit of a walkover, a ceremonial bout, as we've seen Duke just pull off against Mount St. Mary's in the early session. We'll have it all covered for you the rest of the way here in Raleigh. But until then, live in Raleigh, Darren Stoltzfus will send it back to you.
All right, Darren, thank you. Okay, who's checking their brackets?
What bracket?
He filled out half a bracket.
Wait, how do you only fill a half?
Because I just did Final Four.
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
Yeah.
That's not bad. At least you still pick a winner, right?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm imagining Florida's at the top.
Come
of your
on
bracket.
now.
I picked Florida.
There we go.
Randomly, I didn't know they were good.
Well, at least you're honest. 3 for 3 here across the desk. We all pick Florida in our bracket. But what I'm picking for this weekend is a lot of sunshine here in Central Florida. Looks like this, actually. It's going to look like this over the course of the weekend, but feel even better as temperatures will be warming up across the world's most famous beach. We'll slide into the 70s, but today, unfortunately, we were stuck in the 60s on what was a rather cool finish to your work week. We'll stay mild and dry tonight, says clear skies will allow for those temperatures to drop below their seasonal average, but never fear, warmer air will eventually be here, right? Warmer afternoons lie ahead of us as we continue to see a shift in our winds, more of a southerly shift on Saturday and Sunday, propelling those highs into the mid and the upper 70s. But as we roll across your work week, we'll be tracking your next shot at showers. Here's a look at where we are just after 5:18. 59 degrees in Daytona. You match that in New Smyrna Beach, so cooler along the coast. We try our best to warm up as you head out towards the west, but even in Orlando, you're well below your seasonal average as your temperatures are still stuck in the upper 60s. Take a look at this. It's your temperature shift over the last 24 hours, and you see a substantial shift along the coast. In fact, from Palm Coast all the way down to Palm Bay, these numbers are 15 to 25 degrees cooler than they were at this point in time yesterday. So that means one of two things. We were warm on Thursday, but also a cold front did swing across the region, and that's what allowed for these temperatures to plummet. In fact, the only place that's showing warmer temperatures than yesterday, that is Ocala. Also across the coastline, we still do carry a high rip current risk through the rest of your evening, as these breaking waves close to the shoreline could be anywhere between 3 and 5 feet. Thankfully, over the course of the weekend, wave conditions will subside, but we also do carry a red flag warning. It's the combination of the dry air in place and also the faster winds that we've seen so far throughout the day that is allowed for that red flag warning to remain in place until 7 o'clock tonight. As we take you back out to Daytona Beach this evening, temperatures crawl all the way down into the mid-40s, so you certainly need the warmer weather as you step outside the door in the afternoon, but we will be warming up. Step outside the door in the morning, but we warm up in the afternoon. afternoon. You see that high pressure shift taking place, more of a south and easterly flow. On Sunday, that'll bring high temperatures back into the upper 70s across the coast, and we mentioned there will be better surf conditions. Tonight, those waves close to the shoreline in Flagler, Volusia, and Brevard County could be anywhere between 3 and 6 feet. Saturday, Sunday, and Monday, perfect conditions, right? Wave heights 1 to 2 feet, and temperatures in the water are going to be back in the mid and the upper 60s, 65 to 67 degrees as winds begin to calm down. Still a little bit of a northerly flow to start off the day, but we'll see that shift taking place in the afternoon, bringing forth temperatures like this: 75 on Saturday, 79 degrees on Sunday. Warmer inland though, upper 70s Saturday, lower 80s on Sunday, as we have one thing that's sticking around. That's sunshine here in Central Florida. Loads of it over the next 7 days. In fact, not too much rain across your 7-day most accurate forecast. The best shot at rain that comes your way Tuesday into Wednesday. So the middle of the work week as temperatures are back in the low and the mid 80s. And then we finish off your 7-day most accurate forecast with highs of 81 degrees on Thursday and Friday.
First Warning Weather on WESH 2 is sponsored by Gary Yeomans Ford.
Keeping you connected to the stories that impact you. Every night at 7, Michelle Imperato, Stuart Moore, and First Warning Chief Meteorologist Tony Manalfi. WESH 2 News at 7. Local, live, late breaking.
From the big picture on your national weather to what's happening in your neck of the woods.
Today and WESH 2 News Sunrise, warning you first to changing weather.
So you're always prepared for whatever comes your way.
Every morning, right here on WESH 2.
All right, preventing a conflict with China.
Yeah, still ahead, the new Pentagon project and the new limitations put on Elon Musk. Plus,
Hiding under his desk to avoid getting a subpoena, flipping off a judge during a court hearing. These are claims in a new ad against a local candidate for Congress, but are they true? I'm WESH 2's Greg Fox. We'll get the facts.
WESH 2 News continues.
We're taking a live look at Orlando International Airport, where there's an investigation of yet another alarming incident involving a passenger plane. Officials say a Southwest flight was about to take off when air traffic controllers realized the plane was not on the runway.
yeah, that plane was actually about to take off on a taxiway. WESH 2's Michelle Meredith is live. And Michelle, for many people, this is just inconceivable.
Well, it is hard to believe that a pilot for a major airline could mistake a runway for a taxiway, but it happened. Now, fortunately, very fortunately, it did not come to that, and the FAA and the NTSB are both investigating. Live in Orange County, Michelle Meredith, WESH 2 News.
Now to a developing story impacting flights around the world. A fire cut power to London's Heathrow Airport, forcing it to shut down and stranding passengers. Late this afternoon, Heathrow announced flights have resumed. And while there are not a lot of direct flights from Heathrow, many people from the UK come to Orlando every day. However, we did talk to one passenger who was supposed to fly to London via Heathrow last night.
What's happened to you?
Abandoned, I think is the term I would use. I've been here since last evening. The airline, so it was a cross flight. They put me on a Delta, which Delta performed brilliantly, put me into a hotel. But unfortunately, came here this morning, 7 a.m., nobody from Virgin, no news, no emails, nobody knows what's going on. So abandoned and stranded in Orlando.
Andrew says that he will likely get a flight on Monday. At this point, investigators do not know what caused the fire at the electrical substation, but have not found any evidence that it is suspicious.
New jailhouse phone calls from Stephen Stearns reveal what he told his parents following his arrest, charged in the murder of Madeline Soto. He talks about wishing he did things differently, and also talks about being charged with murder.
I guess murder one is about as bad as it can get, and the death penalty is about as extreme as it can go.
Yeah.
I don't even know what method they use down here.
Say what?
Lethal injection, I think.
Yeah.
Oh, I guess that's not so bad, right? You go to sleep and then you go to heaven.
We're still going through hours of these jail calls. Stearns' trial is scheduled to start in May, and just yesterday there was a hearing on whether the public and media should be banned from attending court proceedings before his trial. The judge said he'd have a decision on that within 10 days.
All right, we need to turn to get a check of our forecast now because the weekend is finally here and it is going to be dry again.
Yeah, it is a Friday afternoon. First warning meteorologist Marquise Mida is here. And Marquise, a cool start, but we can expect a warm-up for our weekend.
It's going to be nice to see those temperatures rise, but Michelle, as you alluded to, conditions have been dry all week long, and that'll be the same thing that we're talking about over the course of the weekend. It's been the dry air and the breezy winds that have fanned the fires here. Just looking west of New Smyrna Beach out towards Samsula, two completely different pictures in Volusia County. You've got the gray and amber hues with the smoke, but also blue and clear skies as you look east. Hopefully our picture over the course of the weekend looks a lot more like this that we're seeing in Daytona, just with warmer temperatures. That's what we're looking forward to, because today was a cool finish to your work week. Highs did not make it out of the 60s, and right now here just after 5:30, you're stuck in the upper 50s in Daytona and New Smyrna Beach. As we head out towards the metro, 67 in Orlando, 66 in St. Cloud. It's not going to get much warmer than that. In fact, we continue to cool and remain dry heading into the evening. It's a substantial, if not severe, drought across I-75 through Wildwood, the Villages, also Leesburg in Lake County, where we have seen other wildfires or brush fires take place. But out the door in Daytona right now, we are watching the wind speeds calm down under clear skies, and it's these clear conditions that will take temperatures all the way down into the 40s tonight. But as high pressure shifts over the course of the weekend, we have a lot to look forward to. Blue skies will be in the picture tomorrow and Sunday, and so will warmer weather. We'll take a look at those numbers, though, coming up next time I see you.
Right now, we're continuing our special report as we get the facts on a new political attack ad.
State Senator Randy Fine is the target, and WESH News political reporter Greg Fox is taking aim at the claims. And you can see both parts of Greg's Get the Facts report on this new ad in the District 6 congressional race by going to WESH.com and clicking on Politics. Also in Tallahassee, two measures that would replace the Gulf of Mexico in state laws and educational materials are headed to the House floor. The Republican-controlled House State Affairs Committee voted along party lines to advance bills aimed at carrying out President Donald Trump's move to rename the Gulf of Mexico as the Gulf of America. One of the measures would require state agencies to update geographic materials to reflect the name change. Also, county school boards and charter school governing boards would have to begin acquiring instructional and library materials that reflect the Gulf of America name.
This bill will keep the state standard in line with that of the federal government's decision and the Department of Interior that it is now the Gulf of America. This country, the country of the United States of America, has given opportunities to each and every one of us. We are not trying to rewrite history.
Democrats, including Representative Ana Escamani, says that the legislation is a waste of time.
Essentially, it's just not prudent. It really is politically motivated, and it feeds into a misconception of what it means to really make America great.
If approved and signed by Governor Ron DeSantis, the changes would take effect on July 1st. Today, President Donald Trump said that war plans should not be shared with advisor Elon Musk following a meeting that Musk had at the Pentagon today.
The president made the comment from the Oval Office while also making a big announcement involving America's Air Force. Washington correspondent Kayla Norwood is at the White House with the president's reasoning. The National Weather Service has cut more forecast critical weather balloon launches at 8 sites in the U.S. The reductions are because of staffing shortages brought on by the Trump administration's effort to reduce government staffing and expenses. The cuts will result in reduced forecast accuracy, including for all private industry forecasts that rely on National Weather Service data.
Did Mariah Carey steal the iconic song, All I Want for Christmas Is You? Still ahead at 5, a judge finally issues a ruling on a case over who really owns the beloved Christmas jam. Plus, if you've ever complained about a business on social media, you may want to rethink that decision. Why it could put you at risk. Next at 5.
Closed captioning is sponsored by attorney Dan Newlin.
Have you ever complained about a business on social media to try to get their attention? Well, sometimes it works and you get a response asking you to share more information.
But before you reply, you might want to think twice. Our National Consumer Unit is sharing a brand new scam warning about fake customer service accounts and how to spot them. Here's Amy Lou. It's a cold day in New York City, yet people lined up around the block waiting for their turn for a hot commodity, free eggs. With the cost of eggs nearing an all-time high, people living there brave the weather because Farmer John is giving away free eggs. The farm is passing out 100 dozen eggs at each location. In a statement, Farmer John said, quote, "We're doing this egg giveaway because as food producers, we believe it's our responsibility to support the communities that support us."
Good news for those of you who prefer to have your meals delivered. Klarna and DoorDash are teaming up to offer flexible payment options. So in the coming months, DoorDash customers will be able to select Klarna as a pay option when they are ordering their groceries and other items. The options will include paying in full for four equal interest-free installments. There will also be a pay later option, which allows customers to defer payments to a more convenient time. Nike sales are taking a nosedive. Yesterday, Nike announced its global sales have fallen 9%. That includes a 17% drop in China, as well as a 9% drop in North America. More customers are passing up the pricey shoes and athletic attire for cost-effective basics.
If I got a Klarna, a burger, okay. I'm interested. That's interesting.
I've never shopped with Klarna before, so maybe I was gonna say maybe you're gonna put me on, but
I don't know. That's interesting. All right, let's get a check of the forecast, which we don't have to Klarna because it's gonna be pretty nice outside. Although on a more serious note, that means fire conditions continue.
Yeah, we've seen those perpetuated all throughout the work week. We've been dry at times, we've been warm, but it's been a breezy week for us here in Central Florida, and that's what's kept this fire threat alive. Thankfully, over the course of the weekend, as we shift our attention towards the coastline, Jesse, as you mentioned, it's going to be amazing, right? Loads of sunshine that lies ahead for us and even warmer temperatures. Some would even consider this the perfect beach weekend. Temperatures won't be too hot, not too cold. We'll call it a Goldilocks forecast, and we see a lot of gold and orange here on water vapor. This indicates the dry air that's in place for us in Central Florida, and it's been that dry component to the atmosphere that has allowed for wildfires to pop up sporadically across the region. Here's one that we are paying close attention to in Lake County. This is the Hernandez fire, in which we are watching the smoke continue to bellow over Forest Hills currently. At last check, these flames have burned over 200 acres and containment levels were at 0%. So hopefully as we continue throughout the rest of the evening, the containment levels will go up. But what we're still under, actually, I believe this may have just been canceled. It's a red flag warning. I'll check in with the National Weather Service to see if it was canceled or if there is some sort of delay in our graphic. But regardless, though, what we've have had or have seen throughout the day are low relative humidity values and breezy conditions falling in air from the north that has been rather cool. Now, the wildfire checklist does show dry and tightly packed vegetation. We have that in Lake County. We saw that in Sam. Low relative humidity values between 20 and 40%. That's on the checklist, and we checked that off this week, and the perpetuated dry and breezy conditions. But we commonly see wildfires here in Central Florida between the months of late March and early June. That's exactly where we are right now, and that's why we've seen so many wildfires begin to pop up throughout your ongoing work week. Winds are a little bit faster out along the coastline, though, anywhere between 10, maybe 15 miles per hour in Melbourne. We see similar speeds in Bithlo and St. Cloud. Dry air is what we're pulling in from the north, and also cooler conditions right across our coastline. We're in the upper 50s in Daytona and New Smyrna Beach. Our tower cam situated over downtown Orlando shows temperatures of 67 degrees, so we haven't really budged much over the course of the last hour. Right now, though, barely any clouds to show as high pressure is what's in dominant control of our forecast, keeping conditions dry, but also keeping us cool, and we'll continue to cool down as the night progresses. We'll drop all the way down into the 40s, so it will be a frigid start to your Saturday. Thankfully, we're not going to stay cool as temperatures rise with consistent sunshine, but out the door on Saturday morning, check out Ocala across I-75 in Marion County. You're likely waking up to temperatures in the upper 30s, so I know we're officially in spring, but we still have some winter weather conditions to worry about early on in the morning. Later in the afternoon, though, we return to the upper 70s in Orlando Saturday. Warmer weather lies ahead of us on Sunday. And here's your next shot at rain Tuesday into Wednesday, a 20 and 30% chance. So still a dry 7-day stretch for us. But for us going to the beach, the spring breakers, they're going to love Saturday and Sunday. 77 for your high Saturday, 82 degrees Sunday. Warmer to start off the work week, 85 on Monday. And your next shot at rain comes back on Tuesday and Wednesday. We're back here on WESH 2 News, though, after the break.
Closed captioning is sponsored by Advent Health.
March Madness is back, and the Florida Gators have punched their ticket. Join Darren Stolzfus live in Raleigh as they try to write a storybook ending to a historic season.
We still have a lot left to do here.
Live coverage tonight.
We're now learning actress Blake Lively is asking a judge to dismiss co-star Justin Baldoni's $400 million lawsuit against her.
The dismiss was filed on Thursday, and it argues that California law protects sexual harassment victims by prohibiting retaliatory defamation lawsuits. Lively sued Baldini for alleged inappropriate behavior while on the set of their movie It Ends With Us. Baldoni denied the accusations, and then he and his production company countersued Lively and her husband Ryan Reynolds, claiming that the Hollywood power couple hijacked his film and then tried to destroy his career. A judge has given Mariah Carey an early Christmas present.
A copyright lawsuit over her classic All I Want for Christmas Is You was dismissed in a Los Angeles court. Songwriters Andy Stone and Troy Powers had sought $20 million in damages, claiming Carey stole their track of the same name. However, an analysis of both songs by a musicologist determined the similarities were, quote, fragmentary. According to court documents, it was determined there was a lack of evidence to prove the allegations of theft. This should come as no surprise to dog lovers. The American Kennel Club says the French Bulldog reigns as the most popular breed for a third year. The nonprofit says the Frenchie now occupies a solid place as, quote, America's sweetheart. It describes the breed as great companions for all types of people. The Kennel Club's next 5 most popular breeds also maintained their rankings from 2023. In order, they are the Labrador Retriever, the Golden Retriever, the German Shepherd, a Poodle, and a Dachshund. And a breed to watch, the Cane Corso. Its popularity has soared more than 400% over the past decade.
They're all winners. WESH 2 News at 6 is straight ahead.
Now we're staying on top of multiple brush fires burning across Central Florida tonight. We're taking you live over an uncontrolled fire in Lake County as crews contain an even bigger one that was threatening homes in Volusia County. Hear from people forced to run from their homes.
Plus, a historic arrest in Florida's immigration overhaul. See how local law enforcement is using a rarely used law to deport foreign gang members. That's next at 6.